Okay, well, sorry. All right, so I know we've had some controversy about. We've had some controversy about brake fluid. Okay, this. Let's see how many miles are on this guy. Haven't opened it up. I have no idea if these are real miles. 200 and let's get that out of the way. 214,436. I don't believe the brake fluid has ever been changed on this one. So now this doesn't have like one of those like screw-on caps, but it's still gonna have a rubber seal. Okay, so we'll go ahead and pop this. Do not whoa. Okay, so this might actually have water in it, considering the seal wasn't where it was supposed to be. Obviously, there's some issues going on with these brakes. All right, so what am I using? This is a brake fluid tester. It's a King Bolin brake fluid tester. Okay, so let's see if you can read that. It tells you what is where. Now I know .3 you can't go above 3% for .3 or it starts boiling out. Okay, so go ahead and turn this on. We got it at 0. And I don't know if you can see that. 2%. Okay, let's go ahead and check this front reservoir. Well, kind of flashes between 2 and 3%. It's about 3%. I dig that down in there, 3%. And then back here it was 2%. Okay, so with this rubber seal not in place like it's supposed to, over 200, and obviously that's 200,000 miles worth of brake fluid. I mean, holy crap. And I know there's a major issue with these brakes. These brakes definitely need to be fixed. I think this brake booster is bad. I know it needs shoes on the rear. One of the wheel cylinders is leaking a little bit. The front brakes, I have no idea the condition of them. But by the looks of that reservoir, I think the fronts are okay. It's that rear that's leaking. So you got a wheel cylinder that is leaking, confirmed leaking. You've got something going on in the brake system, a rubber seal that's not in the place that it's supposed to be, and we are in an area where this truck has gone through rivers. We've got extreme humidity here at times. I mean, we're definitely just about always in 100%. Even this morning and yesterday morning, 65 I think it was this morning at 5 a.m. and we had dew all over the cars. Yesterday we had fog until 11 a.m. So we have 100% humidity just about all the time here, and you've got a maximum of 3% of water in brake fluid on a leaking wheel cylinder. That leaking wheel cylinder has been submerged in water more than once. And I know that for a fact. It has been submerged more than once. Okay, so those that tell you that you're going to get more than 3% in less than 100,000 miles, unless there's a failure, it's not possible. Now I tell you what, let's go look at one more vehicle. Okay, this vehicle, on the other hand, has had this. Okay, so the time on it, last I checked, when we ran a scan on the computer, it had, I forgot how many thousands of hours of usage were on it, and I figured it out, and it was like 370,000 miles is what it was equivalent to. I've added 60,000 miles on it. This is a 97, so 30-year-old vehicle. I don't think this brake fluid's been changed. I haven't changed it, so I know this is 60,000 miles. don't look horrible, but I can tell you this is at least 60,000 miles, um, if not more. Like I said, this could possibly be over 400,000 miles. And let's see where this one's at. Oh, look at that, 1%. And I can tell you that I have had this thing literally uh, where the rear end actually had water in the rear end, which was a big oops. Okay. Does have disc brakes all the way around, which is going to play a role in probably why this has got nothing in it. Look, I'll go back in again so you can see it is submerged. And we've got 1%. Okay. So over 60,000 miles. Sorry, over 60,000 miles, possibly over 400,000 miles. Well, of course, let's not use that because hours of usage isn't going to have anything to do with the brakes. I mean, yes, it is. This vehicle was a fleet vehicle, as you can see. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up. This was a fleet vehicle. Okay. And so this fleet vehicle was a Parks and Recs fleet vehicle. So it did have a lot of city mileage, a lot of stop and go. Now, where it originated wasn't very humid. El Paso is not very humid. It can be, but it mostly isn't. So that's going to play a role in it as well. So I can tell you that, as a fact, 60,000 miles, possibly 200,000 miles, and which, by the looks of that definitely was 200,000 miles. And it does not build up fluid in here to say that it's something that what I'm getting at is if you have moisture in your brake fluid. I'm not saying you can't get moisture in your brake fluid. Okay, again, let me make that clear. I'm not saying that you can't get moisture in your brake fluid. What I'm telling you is if you have moisture in your brake fluid, you need to see why. For example, this one, it's got 3%. So instead of me just flushing it and saying, oh yeah, well, you know, it's 3%, we need to flush, we need to service it. Instead of me just saying that, what I'm going to do is a full brake inspection. And I'm going to go through it and say, okay, look, I'm going to recommend a brake service. This has 3% moisture in the fluid, which it's at max. And so what my recommendation is going to be is an inspection, which you do anyways. I'm going to go through the brakes. I'm going to look at it. And when I see a leaking wheel cylinder, I'm going to tell the customer, not only do you need to do a brake flush, you need to fix the wheel cylinders. That's probably a role in where the moisture is coming in, because when you run through heavy water like we do here, we have a lot of standing water. We've got many areas with signs that say do not pass when it's raining. So we go through a lot of standing water. Also, this seal being sucked in the way that it was, which is obviously because of this fluid being low, I'm going to recommend replacing the seal just to be safe. I'm going to recommend wheel cylinders and a brake flush. Okay, I'm going to check the front brakes, see if there's anything there in the front brakes that need to be fixed. And if so, I'm going to recommend that because there shouldn't be a way for moisture to get in a sealed system. If moisture is getting in, it's because there's a problem. So, you know, you need to address the problem, not just sell them on a brake flush and leave it at that. Okay, so again, I'm not saying you can't get moisture in the brake fluid, but if you get moisture in the brake fluid, it is not natural. It means there's a failure somewhere and you need to fix the failure.